Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and we're on the 11th block of the 2024 Designer Mystery Block of the Month that is exclusive to Fat Quarter Shop. This is the third one I've done, and I'm going to do 2025 also, and you can still sign up for that, reserve a spot, and I'll have the links to that down below if you want to check it out. It's going to be really pretty. At least the colors are pretty. I don't know what it's going to look like. If you're not familiar with it, there are guest designers that come in and do each block for 12 months, and then we get a finishing pattern to put it all together. And I bought the finishing kit, and you can see that I've got it, this block, this is the 11th month. I've got it finished out. This is my fourth row. And I've already got my flowers in here, so all I have to do is put the 12th block in when it comes in, which is probably going to be pretty soon. It's going to be really pretty when it's done. So I've even got the backing. I bought the backing for this also. So, but anyway, block 11 is called Family Time, and it's by Lisa Bongine at Primitive Gatherings. That's her block. That's what my block looks like. I call these my comfort blocks, and I will truly be honest with you, this one took a while to put together. Usually they take me about an hour, and this one took me a couple hours. And I paper piece this, so I'm going to take it down to my desk. I'm going to show you what paper pieces I use and how they work. If you were in Piece and Quilt Along and you bought the paper piece kit for that, you'll have the pieces you need, possibly, if you didn't use them all in Piece and Quilt. You could have some left that you could use in here. Or if you have EQ8, you could make these and paper piece them also. That's what I like to do. I will try to paper piece when I can, especially like flying geese, because when I do this many, I just get some that are not rectangular. So these turn out very rectangular, which gives me a very square block, and my points look really good. So that's what I'm doing today. It's a beautiful block. I am not taken away from that at all. It is an absolutely beautiful block. Just took some time to make. So hit the subscribe button, notification bell if you want to see this come to a conclusion and see what it looks like. And I'll probably be showing you my 2025 as I go along also. So let's head down to my desk. It's not going to take very long today, and show you how I did my block. All right, to get started on block 11, I am going to be paper piecing this. This is the block by Lisa Bongine at Primitive Gatherings, and it's called Family Time. I am using the 1.5 by 3 inch by It's So Emma paper pieces that were in Piece and Quilt Along. Their paper piecing kit. So you may have some left over. The base of the flying goose is going to be the darker colors in our fabric kit, and then the corners are going to be the light color in our fabric kit. The back of the tablet shows you how big to cut for each. So placement 1, you'll need to cut 1 rectangle. And then for placement 2 and 3, you need to cut 2 squares and cut those on the diagonal to get 4 triangles. So you're getting 2 flying geese per piece of paper. So you need to keep track of the colors here. I know I've got 4 red ones. I think I've got 12 of one green and 16 of the other. So I'm just going to take my papers, because I only need 2 papers for the red. And then I will need 6 for one green, 6 papers for one green, and 8 papers for the other green. And they give you plenty of fabric in this fabric kit, so you will be able to paper piece this, but you will not be able to make 2 blocks. If you're making 2 blocks out of this, you will not be able to make 2 blocks if you paper piece this. So I just find it, I don't know if it's quicker, I find it to be more rectangular for me, so that's why I do the paper piecing. It just looks better, and the points match up better too. So I'm going to get my papers together, and then I'll get everything cut. All right, I'm going to start with the red fabric. So I need to cut 2 squares because I have 2 pieces of paper. Now remember, it's placement 1. Our dark colors are placement 1. So I need to cut my 2 squares out of this piece of fabric here and get ready to put them in placement 1. All right, for the corners of the flying geese, I need to cut 2 squares out of my background fabric. Actually, I need to cut 4 squares. It's 2 squares per piece of paper. So I need 4 squares out of my background fabric, and then I will, once I get those cut, I will be cutting those on the diagonal. All right, here's my 4 squares that I cut. And now I'm just going to cut these on the diagonal, which will give me 8 of my corners. So I'm just going to demonstrate this red one, but every flying geese, all the flying geese in this will be exactly the same. So we'll just be putting the red one together. Also on the back of this, they give you the instructions too. If you're new to paper piecing, they'll walk you right through how to do it. Okay, we're starting with our red piece, and it needs to fit within the dotted lines that are on your paper. And those are on the outside, and then the solid lines are where we're going to cut the flying goose out of. And it does say trim on this line. So we want to place our fabric on the back side of the paper in between the dotted lines on the other side. And then we'll have plenty of room for it to cover placement 1 on both flying goose. Now I'm clipping it. And then I can go turn it so I can go to the first number 2, pull it back, and then we can trim it. And now we're ready for our first corner to go on. So we're going to turn it back over where I trimmed it. Right sides together, and I line my points up with the corner, and there's the corner of the flying goose, and I lined my points up there with that corner. Make sure your machine is on a shorter stitch length, and then we'll take it over to our machine and we'll sew on the line between 1 and 2 on the other side, and I lock stitch at the beginning and then at the end also. There's my stitch, and it looks like I got something going on in my bobbin there that I'll have to fix, but it'll work for now. And I'm going to take it over to my iron and iron it towards the corner. All right, we got it ironed, and now I am going to trim for number 3 on the first flying goose. So fold it over, add a quarter, ruler, trim it off. Take your corner and take your background corner, put right sides together, again line up those points, and that's how I do it. Yep, there it is. And then sew on the line. And there we go, I've ironed over my number 3. So now we go to the other one on the other side and do number 2 and repeat just like we did for the other one, and then iron it over, sew it, iron it, and then trim for 3, sew it, iron it, and our 2 pieces will be done. Our 2 flying geese will be done. There we go. Got both of them done. Kind of looks like a square and a square now, but we need to turn it over, and we're going to trim on the solid lines. And it does say on at least placement 1 there, it says trim on this line. But remember, trim on the solid lines. So I'm going to go around the edges first and trim those lines, and then I'll come in the middle and cut the 2 apart from each other. So I actually will do both my number 2s at the same time. I'll trim for my both 2s, sew them on, and then I'll trim for both 3s and sew them on. But to show you how this works, I did each one individually. I just think it's faster. You're consolidating your tasks together. And when I go to to do all of these flying geese, I will do all the tasks at the same time for the rest of the 30 flying geese that I have to do. But now you can see I have got some gorgeous flying geese there. And they're all going to be, from here on out, they're all going to be exactly the same. Just got to keep track of what color you're working with. All right, So I just wanted to show you that you don't have a lot of fabric left after cutting all your pieces. So again, you won't be able to do 2 blocks out of this if you decide to paper piece. And I also want to show you how I am doing them all at the same time. So I've cut both my number 2s on all of my pieces. Now I'm ready to go over to my machine and add the corner pieces all at once. So I'll put both of them on, set it aside, then go to my next piece of paper, put both of them on, set it aside, and then I'll be ready to iron them all and then come back and repeat for number 3. I got all my flying geese done and I pulled the papers off the back of them. So we just need to put them together in these 2 rows. And I've got 4 flying geese in each row and 4 in each pile here, so that we make 4 of these sections. So that's all we got to do. And then we put these 2 together like this, and then we'll put our 4 sections together. I'm a little crazy from after all these flying geese. There we go. There's my 4 sections completed, and I love, you know, it took a while to do it, but I love how the paper piecing just gives me very, very rectangular flying geese. So I've got some very square sections. So now all I have to do is put them together and I'll have my beautiful block. There we go. Turned out very pretty. I'm happy with it. I'm going to be honest, I'm glad it's over. It took a while. A whole bunch of flying geese is not what I would call a comfort block, but it does make a pretty block. So I like the colors. The colors are very nice, and that pinwheel in the middle is really pretty. So not taken away from the way how beautiful this block is. Just glad it's over. So let me know how it went for you. Did you paper piece? Did you traditionally piece it? And let me know what you thought of the block and how long did it take you to put together. This took me a few hours. Usually they only take me about an hour, but this one took a few hours to do. So hit the subscribe button, notification bell if you want to see the rest of this quilt come together and all the other fun stuff we got going on here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!